Welcome to another episode of the Action Toon Boys, Episode 5, Young Justice 9 through 13. Or wait, through 12. Oof, getting messed up already.
Wow, way to go.
Right off the bat.
And speaking of which, I am Ben Sturgeon. At least I can remember that.
Yeah, I'll try to remember. My name is Matthew Lewis, and we are the Action Toon Bros. So,
You already said that, but yeah.
Hey, you gotta make sure they remember the name of the podcast, even if they're on episode 5. All right, so.
Oh, speaking of which, you've been on a little bit of hiatus right now, haven't you?
Well, technically the episodes haven't aired yet at this point, spoilers. But when we do, I just got back from some surgery, recovery for the last couple of weeks. Even though there won't be any gap in the actual putting out of the episodes, so that should be fine for them.
That means you can actually cut this.
Yeah, I know. I'll leave it in. Who cares?
Okay.
Inside baseball. It's always fun for people to learn that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you've recovered from that.
Thanks, man.
And speaking of recovering from, what are our heroes up to today in episode 9, Bereft?
Well, we start with a big old title card saying they're in Bialia, a famous made-up DC town, one that was utterly murdered by Black Adam in 52. I can't stop.
I was gonna say you and that Black Adam.
He's the best.
I haven't seen him yet, but
yeah, it's a fictional Middle Eastern country in DC that pops up occasionally. Mm-hmm. First image we see is Megan dead. She's like,
are you kidding
seemingly
me?
passed out in the desert dead. It looks like she's dead.
She's not dead. She's just broken because her English is very slurred.
Yeah, slurred. She's like wakes up speaking exclusively in Martian. Very confused.
After a while, she's just like, "Oh, hello, Megan. I'm on Earth."
We have the hello, Megan for the episode.
Yep, there it is. Right at the beginning. Hello, Megan.
Yep, and immediately we have our still not named Superboy jumping out and roid rage, attacking people left and right.
Well, attacking her, and then she just literally hops away.
Yep.
And that's when we realize that Megan doesn't know why or anything.
Yep.
And of course, Superboy doesn't even say anything. He's just literally in Hulk smash kind of mode.
Yeah, and she's like, "Is that Superman?" Because he has the T-shirt and he just like
trigger word
and just goes crazy again. Let's see. After that, we have the title card where we have the couple of clips from the episode to come. After that, we see Robin in the desert, also with amnesia. And we discover that apparently it is September, and they've lost their memories since March.
Yeah, since March.
Yeah, oof.
Yeah, and of course, for some reason, he doesn't realize it, but he's like, why are there Bialian troops in Bialia? Oh, wait. But of all the things to have amnesia for, the only thing he remembers is, I'm calling Batman.
Yeah.
Flash to maintain radio silence. Okay, I'm not going to.
Yeah, very convenient flashback.
And of course, after we have that little bit of Robin figuring things out, we cut to an abandoned house where Wally and Artemis are.
Yep, we see Kid Flash very confused about what's going on. Artemis immediately is like, "What the hell's happening?" And he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm Kid Flash." And like, "Your outfit's black, so are you some kind of weird like evil universe version or something?" I'm like, "That was a funny gag."
Right, and of course, of all the things that Artemis think of, it's, "Oh, this is a test for my dad."
Yeah, whoa,
wait, what are you talking about?
Mysterious.
Oh, he probably wants me to kill you.
Yeah,
oh,
very
great.
Mysterious. What could that possibly mean? Why would her dad want her to kill Kid Flash? And then we have the first big army attack on them.
Yep, just literally bombs and everything.
Yep, many great happen through the episode. We cut back to Megan, and she has some more flashes before the mission, and right about now she's pretty much caught up to speed. Well, not caught up to speed yet, but
she's got a good idea because she starts meditating, like, what's going on? Because, only sensible character actually, like, thinks about what's going on.
Yeah, also she's psychic. So
they don't know that yet.
They know that.
I know.
But, yeah.
But yeah, so, she finds out she's on a team, and she needs to find the team. And then we cut right back to Wally and Artemis, who are still getting attacked, and also by a rabid Superboy, who decides to not only attack them, but attack the tanks.
Yeah, very cool. Reminded me of the terrible Ang Lee Hulk movie with the ripping up of the tank parts. Mm-hmm. But then Megan comes in and she fills everyone in on the team, or not everyone except for Superboy.
Yeah, except for Superboy, who got taken away. And as speaking of Superboy. After Megan's talking to Wally and Artemis about that, Superboy's like, "I'm angry," and then a mysterious hooded figure. All he says is, calm down. And Superboy instantly knocks out.
Yep. And that mysterious figure, should we reveal who the villain is now or later? Because, the voice actor for the villain is also really cool.
Oh,
someone who I just like, but he's been in a ton of stuff. And we realized that about 16 humans are able to restrain Superboy. I was like, that's not a proper, even half Kryptonian should be able to be restrained.
Even a half Kryptonian. I mean, come on. Yeah. Even if they are scientists. But
even if they're scientists? Oh, look at that big ass spike in the volume. Why the hell would scientists be able to hold him better than
Because they've got equipment that they could, restrain him.
Meaning ropes. 16 guys with ropes.
But, this begs the question. We've been talking about every single person. What about Aqualad?
Oh, well, he's conveniently pretty much fucking knocked out the whole episode. Very cool, Aqualad. Good leadership. Jesus.
Well, I mean, it's not like he could do anything. He's literally in an arid desert.
It's the worst place for him right now.
Literally. Oh, yeah.
After we cut to the knocked out Aqualad, we cut back to Robin finally hooking up with the team. Him and Wally know each other from before March, so they're perfectly fine with each other.
Right. And so Megan's like, hey, let's fill in the gaps by having me go into your brains.
Yep, and everyone's like, whoa.
Well, everyone's okay with it, except for Artemis. For some reason, she's very hesitant.
Yeah, even though she's not 100% caught up, she actually probably assumes that they don't know who her father is still. And we see Wally, pointing to his chest and accidentally turning his suit back to the normal yellow, and he keeps poking it. And then
touching yourself.
And then everyone else keeps it's funny, the scene where, everyone starts poking their own chest to see if their outfits change. That was a very funny little gag.
So like we said earlier, they all link their minds up with Artemis saying only the past 6 months, especially only the things that you needed. Trying to make things spooky hidden.
Yeah.
And we also have our Robin word of the day here,
which is a repeat one because I guess it's technically
Is it a repeat one?
I think this was the first one. Whelmed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You might be right.
I think he said that early in the first episode.
Yep. But the Robin word of the day here is whelm, which is the opposite of underwhelm or overwhelm.
And as we cut to the whole background of the mission, we see Batman telling them to go to Bialia to investigate, what was it?
An energy spike. Something had landed and given off an alien energy spike. Mm-hmm. They had to go, and of course cooperatively. Covertly. I'm bad with words today.
Too.
I can English goodly. But they were supposed to find out what's going on. And we get a name drop.
Yep.
We'll focus on this one later, but
Queen
Bialia, Bialia is taken over by Queen Bee.
A character who will come back later, but it's not the hooded figure.
What are you talking about? Of course it's the
Obviously
hooded
that's
figure.
Queen Bee.
But because she is taken over Bialia, and Bialia is, an actual, government,
mm-hmm.
they could get intercepted when they use their radios. So that's why Batman was maintain radio silence.
And then they finally remember, oh yeah, Aqualad. So they finally go out to find where he was left at. But in the middle of finding him knocked down and realizing he needs to be saved, Megan just completely ditches the team to go after Superboy.
Yes, Superboy, who is... Remember how I told you scientists can actually do things? Well, they finally decided to upgrade from ropes to actually chaining him up and giving him the shock treatment.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, Richard O'Brien did not appear for this one.
They knew you were going to bring up that new movie.
Yeah, of course I was.
That's great.
But... as that's happening...
We see a weird spinning orb thing inside of a chamber that's reacting to Superboy vaguely.
Very, very vaguely. And instantly cut back to Aqualad, who, just like Megan at the beginning, is broken because his English is very slurred.
Yep, he thinks he's still in Atlantis. And this is around the same time we figure out the villain. It is Simon.
It's Simon.
Simon, but it's spelled Simon.
Yeah.
And the voice actor is Alan Tudyk.
Refresh my memory on who that is.
Let's see. You've seen Firefly?
Yes.
Blonde dude. And also voice of King Candy and the voice of a dozen Disney villains and Disney characters.
That's right, because this is the same guy who was the chicken in Moana,
yep,
right?
Chicken in Moana, too.
Which I think is still weird that was the voice of a chicken was a person.
Well, but Alan Tudyk's great. He's a great voice actor. Oh, and a great actor. But one of our next shows, Star vs. the Forces of Evil, he is also the main villain in that.
Spoilers on that one.
Well, he voices the I didn't tell you.
No. Spoilers on what we're doing next.
Maybe we'll do it eventually. We still have other shows to catch up to.
But one of the most important things to learn about Simon is, yes, he does say Simon Says.
I'm going to keep calling him Simon.
Yeah, you can call him Simon.
Shimon? What anime was it? Where the
Simon from Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, Shimon or whatever they keep
Shimon.
saying. I wrote down Simon, like a Digimon, so I keep calling him that.
But when it's revealed, when Megan's like, oh no, they're shocking Superboy, the guy I may or may not like, Simon's like, oh yeah? Simon says, forget. And then there is an epic mind thrust maneuvers and internal mind battle activate go.
Yep, a cool psychic battle where people are just standing there staring at each other. That's always fun to see.
I always thought that was hilarious. It's like, oh, battle of the minds. I don't like bringing it up, but the last movie of Twilight, when everything just happened in their minds, yeah. I think that's exactly what happened. There's like inside their minds, epic fighting. Right outside, just comatose, just
like staring at each other meaningfully.
It's even funny because some of the scientists are like over at Simon going, hello.
Yeah, you're like, what the? And then a giant psychic tornado erupts and no one can get near them. But eventually the orb gets free and the orb thing frees Connor. Or not Connor yet, still just vague Superboy.
Yeah, but and apparently with the power of a punch from Superboy, he tries to punch Simon so hard that not only does it not work, but he enters the psychic battle.
Yep, and I think it's during this scene we get our first scene of the actual Hello Megan TV show.
We do, because Simon's like, oh, you're gonna use him to help you? She's all like, no, I'm gonna save his mind. Flashes everything to make Superboy remember who he is, and we get like this weird cheerleader that looks like Megan saying hello, Megan.
Yeah, well, what's that about?
Yeah, who knows?
It's so good. Aqualad finally wakes up last minute, not being helpful. The orb thing, they defeat Simon, and then they have a weird almost kiss between Megan and Connor.
And then Orby decides to be like, no,
and they're like, oh, what the heck?
And of course, one of the more important things in the episode, Kid Flash is like, darn it, I didn't get a souvenir.
Yep. Don't worry, orb thing is going to be the souvenir. Yay! And then we cut back to once again the light just sitting around saying like, it doesn't matter, we won anyway. Boom tubes work.
Yeah,
boom tubes.
Boom tubes are a thing.
Bum bum bum. If you know DC, you know exactly what that means, but still, no spoilers for people who don't, I guess.
And
that is the end of episode 9.
Yep, that is the end of that episode.
Very good episode. I love Simon. He's very peculiar. I think he comes back a couple more times too.
Probably. I think he is a recurring character, but this was the first time I've ever even heard of.
Honestly, I am a huge DC person. Exact same thing. I've never heard of this guy before.
Okay, but I like that we've never heard of him before.
No.
But he was just good enough to actually be important.
Oh yeah, he was a very cool villain for this.
Oh yeah,
I really appreciated it.
I mean, it's always neat to have like the weird psychic.
Oh yeah, someone who's able to take out the entire team before the episode starts.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Very impressive.
But speaking of impressive,
oh boy,
episode 10, Targets.
Yep, episode 10. We begin in Taipei, Taiwan, and we see Cat Grant, a very prominent DC character.
Mm-hmm, yep, she makes an appearance always as the newscaster.
Well, she's normally now a newscaster. Originally, she was another co-worker with Clark and Lois in the Daily Planet.
Aha.
Yeah, and she's like that. Like, she's a major character in the first couple seasons of the Supergirl TV show because she has her own newspaper. And that's
she actually did make an appearance in.
She's Carol's boss in the TV show because she talks about how she was with Clark and Lois. She split from that, has her own paper, and that's where Supergirl joins to work there.
Wow, that's actually very interesting. Yeah. I didn't know there was that much deep.
Oh yeah, but yeah, Cat Grant is great, and she is TV reporting on Malaysia, not Korea at all.
You kidding me? The first thing I thought it was Malaysia.
Really? North Malaysia and South Malaysia with their Kim Jong-un looking leader and the other.
Look, it's just Asia in general because yes, it's North and South Korea, and yes, it's Malaysia, not Malaysia.
But it's obviously Korea.
I know, we know. But anyway,
we see the absolutely not Korea Malaysia has their North and South hemispheres are fighting.
And just so you know, when you look at the actual characters, they really do look like the leaders as well.
It's very obvious.
But with that happening, with all this peace talk stuff happening, we get to see an actually not suited up, in an actual nice tux Roy contacting Aqualad. He's like, hey, I need to know some stuff about Cheshire. Yeah. And that's when we find out that Cheshire is 1.67 meters.
I was gonna say we look to see her height, and they don't mention her racer profile.
All he asks is, "Hey, how tall is she?" Yeah, 1.67 meters. 5'6".
Yeah, I'm about to say. Yeah, I was like, what the?
See,
like,
they do both systems.
That's hilarious. But I'm saying, yeah, like the only profile I'm looking for is just a woman of that height. It's like that's real nice. TV
but
show.
More importantly, aside from Cheshire information, the cat decides to bring up that there's this mysterious arbitrary supposed to be coming in.
The negotiator for the peace talks. Who could it possibly be?
And before we even find out, that's when Cheshire attacks.
Yep.
But with all this giant rocket launcher stopping and all that stuff, Roy obviously stops her.
Yeah.
She gets apprehended.
Well-timed arrow stops Cheshire.
And then we find out that the secret arbitrary that's supposed to be helping this peace talks is Lex Luthor.
I always love a good Lex appearance.
Dude, before this series, I never really thought much about Lex.
Really?
But after I watched some of this, I actually watched Superman the animated series.
Hell yeah!
And I've gotten a little bit more respect for Lex Luthor.
Oh, Lex is Clancy Brown voicing Lex in that is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Oh man!
Did I write down? I didn't recognize Lex's voice actor in this, but
I did not either. But
he did an excellent job. Like speaking of Supergirl earlier, like spoiler for the very, very most recent season at this point of recording, that he just showed up last minute and like just wrecked shit and being awesome in that show. And it's just like, of course, Lex is always great when he shows up. Yeah, it's really fantastic.
After we find out about Lex, that's when we get the title credit.
Intro.
Then after that, what happens next?
We cut to Lex talking to Roy in the back room while he's just adjusting himself, dusting off his shoulders, saying, "Hey man, I appreciate it. Why don't you come?" This is what he says, like, "Why don't you come work for me?" And he's just like, "No." He's like, "Oh, you'll do it
sort
for
of.
free."
They make a few sharp gestures at each other, and then Lex is like, "Hey, this actually begs the question."
Yeah.
Who are the Shadows working? Who's behind all this? And what are they after?
Did they immediately think it's the League of Shadows?
Yes, because Cheshire is always
with the League.
So, but Lex is like, "Hey, so wanna work for me? I'll pay you." And Roy's just like,
"F you."
After he's like, "I don't want your money," he's like, "Good, you'll get it for free."
Awesome. Always the businessman. Lex, always the businessman. It was fantastic. The League of Shadows. Roy says, "I'm going to stick around to stop the League of Shadows." Then we got back to Superboy hanging out with the orb and tuning up his motorcycle, which I didn't even know he had before. Is that the first time we see the motorcycle?
No. This is when McGann and Superboy are going to school.
Yeah, they're getting ready for school, but I'm saying he's hanging out.
No, he's not by his motorcycle this time.
I thought he was just hanging out with the orb?
Yeah, it was just the orb.
Okay.
No. You're right. In this one, he was working on the motorcycle, and then the orb was like, "Pay attention to me!"
Yeah.
And then that's when we see Red Tornado, Jean, and Jean and McGann walk in, and they're like, "Hey, ready for school, Superboy?"
Yeah, and he's just like, "Huh?"
And this is the episode where Connor becomes Connor.
Yeah, he finally gets his name.
Yeah, he finally gets his name.
Connell.
He's like, What should I do? I need a name. And Jean's like, "Hey, I'm Jean. Maybe you could be Jean."
It was Twister was like, "I'm John Smith," and then John Jones was like, "I'm John Jones. Maybe you could be a John."
Maybe you could be John. Yeah, it's like, no. And then of course, Megan being Megan is just like, "What about Connor?" And he's just like,
where she got that name from? Who knows?
But the funniest thing is,
Yeah.
Aqualad's like, "Yeah, we should do a last name."
Yep.
Hey. So Jean's like, "What about Kent?" McGann instantly, like Kent Nelson.
Yeah,
and they're just like,
"Yeah,
okay. Sure, we'll go with that."
I guess they still don't trust him with Superman's actual identity. That's hilarious. He doesn't know if his name's Kent.
But now after that all happens, and after McGann and
you also forgot the bit about the t-shirt.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
wearing a Superboy t-shirt. She says, "Don't worry, that people will know you're Superboy." And so he just turns it inside out. She's like, "Woo!" She just almost faints.
Yeah, literally, like she swooned so hard.
Yep, and finally we cut back to Cheshire.
In prison.
In prison. This is when she's talking to Roy?
Yep, and Roy's just like asking her questions. She's being as coy as ever.
Yep.
They have a cute moment.
Yeah, nice little meet cute for the two of them.
Hey, at least it ends in something explosive, right?
Ugh, lame.
And by that we mean after Cheshire's being all coy and stuff, she escapes Thanks to Sportsmaster.
I love Sportsmaster.
Even she is upset
just
about this.
Oh god, it's Sportsmaster. Why could she possibly be upset? Who knows?
But I do have to agree. Sportsmaster is really cool in this.
Dude, like, when I first watched this years ago, I was like, who the hell? I think I vaguely remember. I think there was an episode of Justice League Unlimited where Sportsmaster was a thing.
I don't think he was ever in.
No, it was the alternate universe episode where they went to a weird, like, with like Tommy Turbine and a bunch of like weird. Like,
I'll have to rewatch
weird
that
characters,
episode, then.
And I think one of them, their villain, one of them was Sportsmaster, or I'm thinking of Brave and the Bold. He also appeared.
That's the one you did mention when we first talked about
Brave and the Bold.
Was Brave and the Bold, but
I'll
have to rewatch that episode of Unlimited.
I believe he's in that, but yeah, he's a very, very goofy character in Brave and the Bold. And like when he first showed up in Young Justice in the first episode, I was like, this is so stupid. Mm-hmm. He is. I'll quickly become one of my favorite characters in this show.
Same here. I'm like, who is this
random
guy? Sportsmaster? He has sports equipment?
It's the stupidest name in the world. It's a stupid name, and like his other outfits and older things are so stupid. And he looks so weird and almost generic. But then
and then he became amazing.
He's great.
So Roy tries to, follow them in their helicopter. Mm-hmm. Many failed attempts, so he just puts a tracking beacon on them and follows that.
Yep.
Which is then when we find out the true reveal.
Who could be the League of Shadows leader? Could it be the person who's always in charge? Ra's al Ghul. I was going to tell you. How do you pronounce it?
See, I say Ra's al Ghul, but I know in some forms it's Ra's al Ghul. In like the Batman Begins movie, it's Ra's al Ghul.
In like most things, it's Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, it's a weird, like, it's supposed to be pronounced Ra's al Ghul, so I just do that just to be a big weird, like,
what, Ra's al
Ghul?
Yeah. Well, see, it was the opposite for me. In very few formats, it was Ra's al Ghul. In a whole lot of other medias, it was Ra's al Ghul. So that's why I call him Ra's al Ghul.
I always say Ra's just because it's weird sounding.
Which, by the way, for those of you who are interested, Oded Fair is the voice actor.
Yeah.
I didn't see many interesting things that he was in, except for Dr. Fate in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited.
Dude, you never seen The Mummy series. He's the main, like, good guy trying to help them who knows everything about the mummy.
See, well, the website
Deuce Bigelow, Mel Gigolo. He's the gigolo that he fills in for.
See, the website that I used to find the voice actors didn't actually mention this. I think they just did, like, really animated video game stuff.
Oh, no, he's a huge actor. You never seen The Mummy?
Like Brendan Fraser?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the guy. He's the horse riding guy with the beard and the long hair. That's Oded Fair.
Okay.
And, like, you never seen Deuce Bigelow?
It's been an age and
He's the gigolo that, like, tries to kill him because he takes over when the guy leaves town.
Oh, the guy with the fish tank.
Yeah, that's Oded Fair.
Anyway, well, I mean, like I said, the website was not as
but I was very happy. Oded Fair is great.
Oh, yeah, he is fantastic.
Yep.
And, of course, as he's talking to Cheshire and Sportsmaster, Roy gets there and he's like, yeah, I'm going to watch Ra's al Ghul. Instantly he's like,
get that guy over there.
Get him.
He's the best. But I was gonna say, like, we found out the reason for that they're supposedly doing this is because it'll be good for business. If the Fun Assassination will make the League of Shadows keep looking good.
Yep, exactly.
And also, we get a nice little terrible dad pun from Sportsmaster about Broken Arrow.
Red Arrow, more like Broken Arrow.
And that's just actually like, ugh, he's so lame.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was going to say, this is going to be a new segment that I just wanted to do just because he's around, the Sportsmaster Sportscast. Let's see what sports he does.
Fire away.
If I did any actually editing for this podcast, I'd put some like nice little like sports show announcing. All right, for this, we see Sportsmaster partake in the following sports: pole vaulting, discus throw, javelin toss, some light judo with the flips, and also fencing, as well as, I think, shot put with that weird mace ball, the weird swinging mace ball.
Yeah, not all at the same time.
Sure these are going to be later in the episode as well.
Right, but yeah, with that spike ball, yeah, I think that would have been shot put.
I think that might be shot put, but
or hammer throw.
Yep, I was happy. Pole vaulting, discus, javelin toss, light judo, fencing, and possibly shot put. Sportsmaster is the best.
You're making me up my game now. I'm going to have to notice this every time he's in.
He's just so stupid. I love it. He's cool.
Oh, and as this whole fight is happening, we do cut back to Connor and McGann.
Yep.
Connor's upset because, well, other people are wearing Superman
Everyone's
shirts.
wearing t-shirts with logos of various superheroes on them, and he's real pissed about it.
And, of course, they try to get along. McGann, she is flawless at this.
Yeah.
And Connor is not. not.
Oh, yeah, he's very, very upset about it. I was going to say there is a number of cameos in this scene alone. Every time there's a high school scene of people out of costume, there's a ton of cameos of people. Let's see. The weirdo who bumps into Superboy, the weird little guy with the skateboard stuff, Marvin, as well as that girl with the black hair, Wendy, are two rando humans that hung out in the Super Friends cartoon. The bad Super Friends one from the
from the
70s
really,
or 80s,
yeah.
whatever that was. Yeah, with the Aquaman riding on the dolphin skiing stuff. Yeah, it's two human characters that just hung around in that show just to be like weird kids.
See, I never would have been able to.
I wouldn't either. I literally had to look it up. Yeah, Wendy and Marvin are those two randos. Mal, the huge dude who's picking a fight with him, is the second Guardian.
Oh, is he?
Which is going... spoiler alert for the show. But,
then don't.
Leave it in.
We'll cover it.
We'll leave it in. But also, that's also inspiration, once again, the third time in the podcast so far I'm bringing up Supergirl, in that it's vaguely referenced with Jimmy Olsen taking up the second mantle of Guardian, if you follow that show.
Oh, yeah.
And his girlfriend will eventually be Bumblebee.
Boom.
Yeah.
Lots of cameos.
Tons and tons. Oh, that's not the last of them.
I bet not. I mean, we're only on episode, 10 was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're only on episode 10.
I was going to say their teacher who later enters is Snapper Carr, who is
Never heard of that one before.
He was in Justice League Unlimited. He was a random reporter.
Carr?
He was a random reporter.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
James Marsden, I think it was in that show.
Yeah, okay, I know who you're
a random
talking
minor
about
reporter.
now.
That's who the teacher is, Snapper Carr.
That's amazing.
Weird reference, but and also in the spoilers for future episodes, there's going to be another school scene. There's going to be more cameos. But
yes, that's not a big spoiler. There's going to be a lot. We're still early in, so
yeah. But besides all that, we get to see them vaguely trying to fit in the school, but
trying to fit in. But then we go back to the action, where Roy actually escapes, and then decides to call for backup from someone.
Don't we see who it is?
No, we don't even hear who it is. He just says, "I may be in over my head."
Okay. Well, we'll find out.
Let's be honest, it's heavily hinted at.
Yep. We also cut back. That's when we see the teacher and them in class, and Megan tells Superboy about how white Martians are persecuted now. Fourth time bringing up Supergirl because John Jones is a major character in that show. And you find out the history between the White Martians and the Green Martians.
Yeah, the whole Civil War thing going on.
Yeah, in that, I'm pretty sure it's what I remember most of the story being in most series, is that the White Martians are huge, monstrous, and very evil in most things, and they're
and the Green Martians are
normal and
more,
good. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they're not.
Yeah, and
raging.
then most depictions, it is that's the case, and her saying that the White Martians are being persecuted, we're just whoa, that's weird. Why would you be saying that? Because in every other media, the White Martians are horrible monsters.
Yeah,
that's peculiar. Why would McGann be saying that? Huh.
Well, she's always the kind-hearted.
Yeah,
one,
she's very, very nice, I guess.
And of course, it does also bring up the question, Connor doesn't understand why war. Why war?
Yeah, why do humans war?
Yeah.
They're all humans. Why do they fight? It's well, people are persecuted all the time.
Not everyone agrees.
Yeah, you'll learn one day.
Superboy, Aqualad, who's actually Superboy.
Yeah, Aqualad who's Superboy. No, Superboy, you'll learn one day, Connor.
But then we actually go back to the peace talks.
Oh yeah, we find out who the extra backup is.
Yep, the extra backup actually is Aqualad.
Aqualad, here to help.
And because Cheshire, once again, tries to crash the party.
Yep, and this time with Sportsmaster, where he does some of those sports I listed earlier.
Every time we say Sportsmaster, we need to have them make a bingo card.
Yeah, I know.
Sportsmaster bingo.
What weird thing is he gonna do this time?
But yeah, and there's a bit of a fight, and again, they have a lot of different cuts in this episode because we cut once again back to Connor and Megan.
Back to the high school plot, the B plot of the high school.
Yep.
Where we see McGann doing cheerleader practice.
And then she gets water dumped on her.
But Connor thinks she is being somehow harassed or something, so he jumps off the thing ready to fight, and then they're just it's a prank, it's great.
And then he trips and falls.
Yeah,
and
looking like a big doof.
Dude, every single girl that's not McGann is dude, he's hot. Finally, they point out, wow, he's hot, but he's just a freak.
Yeah, he is a weirdo.
And of course, we get another cute moment with them. You're just oh, you're carrying my books. What, you want them wet?
Yeah, I know.
Walks away, and she's just
oh, he's such a good boyfriend, just like in some kind of TV show or something.
Now let's see if we can bring this focus back to the main plot.
Yeah, is this the main plot? I said the high school it was the main plot.
No, the main plot is what
Of course, yeah. What is Lex Luthor in the not Korea negotiations?
Of course, because Cheshire Sportsmaster, everyone's like, yeah, we're having a wonderful time fighting until they die in a typhoon. Actually, they don't even die. It's just Aqualad's like, hey, look at all this water, giant serpent, and Sportsmaster's like, we're out.
Yeah, not before though. While fencing with Aqualad, he does mention that they have an inside person.
Very important. Yes.
Yeah. Well, they also mentioned that Cheshire almost blows up the entire building before
right,
Aqualad
because it's
stops
Cheshire.
her. Yeah, but Aqualad manages to stop her last minute.
Yeah. But yeah, that is a very good point. Sportsmaster's like, oh, you know how I knew you were in Bialia and all these other things? I have an inside source. Dun, dun, dun.
Bum.
But they leave, and Lex apparently succeeded in bringing peace by having his secretary Mercy
Graves
shoot a gun that was her arm.
Yeah, a weird robot arm. She's a cyborg, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for those of you who actually do know DC and stuff like that.
Oh, Mercy's normally just a person.
Is she?
Oh yeah.
I thought she was always.
No, she's not normally a weird robot. She's just a normal ass person who just.
Then I retract what I was gonna say. Never mind.
I was gonna say yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, it's just like, oh yeah, Aqualad's like, okay, Roy, let me level with you. You could have called anyone, but you called me. Why is that? And Roy's like, look, I may say some bad things, but I got mad respect for you guys. So if you need me, I'll actually help you.
Yep, that's good. And as that's closing out, he says, "Don't worry, I won't tell the team." But
I won't tell the team. I don't want to spread the seeds of distrust in anything, so I'll keep it on the DL.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when we see also Lex talking to a mysterious figure,
not mysterious for long.
Who actually is revealed to be Ra's al Ghul. They were actually working together, and then we get the weirdest line ever. I think it's from Lex.
I think Ray says the line about the light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it is Ra's al Ghul then.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, the light is blah, blah, blah. Which, oh no, what? And then the episode ends.
These two giant villains of Batman and Superman are part of that weird organization we've been following.
Right. Oh,
crazy.
Man. It's like, what?
Yeah. Say what?
But yeah,
great episode. Another really good one. Which plot were you more invested in that?
What, in that episode?
Yeah, between the assassination with the villains or the high school one.
Dude, the moment I knew that Cheshire was in it, I knew the League of Shadows was in it. And I'm always in for the League of Shadows.
Yeah,
of course I'm going to be like, high school drama, that's nice and all.
Yeah,
but, dude, when they showed Ra's al Ghul, I'm like, finally, let's get this going.
Finally, what
about you? Let me guess. You were like, oh, I like Connor and I like Meg.
I'm whatever about Connell. I'm gonna switch up what I call him every time.
They know who we're talking about.
I am whatever about Connor. I'm whatever about Megan at this point in the story. But I just like cameos. I like dumb esoteric characters just so I can flex my DC knowledge, pointing them out.
Yeah, you always were one to be like, hey, I know this person and this person and this person. As I'm sitting here question marks all over my head.
Oh yeah. I'd love to see the rando little cameo people.
Oh yeah,
so weird.
But speaking of characters, a lot of characters.
Oh, and cameos, yeah,
and cameos. We actually go into episode 11, Terrors.
Yep, a very very weird episode of the show.
Yeah, I mean, and let me be honest with you, we're gonna delve into this obviously.
Oh yeah,
but Terrors. That's the title they chose?
Yeah, and also the two, let's say, I was going to say the opening thing opens with the Terror Twins attacking Superman.
Are they called the Terror Twins? I thought they were the Power Twins.
No, Terror Twins.
They are the Terror Twins, okay.
Yeah.
Which...
You think of the Wonder Twins or something?
No. For some reason, I thought they were called the Power Twins.
No, they keep saying Terror Twins.
But the thing is, what's so terrible about them? They're just mini Supermen.
I don't
don't do anything but super
legit,
strength.
I think they're original to Young Justice. I've never heard of them. I tried looking up some stuff about them. I didn't see anything.
Still, it's just like, the Terror Twins. Yeah, they're terrible. But they're just super strong.
Yeah, two rando super strong people who I don't recognize from anything else.
But what we do get, however, as the Terror Twins are being fought by the League and some of the Young Justice League, they get caught.
They get thrown into a weird warehouse building.
Yeah, and then they're like, wait, what's going on? What's all this? Because they see Megan and the brother?
Yeah, you'd like to get the power dampening collars put on them first. And like, what the heck? Who did that? Was it who put them on him? Was it?
It was Batman.
Was Batman and somebody else?
Yeah, it was Superman also.
No, Superman and Sean Jones were flying.
That's right. Yeah, Aqualad was the one that actually put the ones on the actual Terror Twins. And then, of course, McGann and what looked like the other, the brother of the Terror Twins.
I was gonna say, I don't think I wrote down the guy's name. I know Tuppence. I wrote her name down, but
wait, her name's Tuppence.
Yeah, Tuppence and the guy. I think his name's Terry or something vaguely normal sounding.
We'll just call him Terry.
Well, just because I don't want to call him anything. I'll say the boy twin,
the brother.
Tuppence.
We'll call her the brother. And Tuppence.
I'll say. I'll even wrote her name down because I'm very down for her weird Vanilla Ice style.
Oh my goodness, right?
I'm cool with that. Her weird ass fucking '90s blonde hair, like weird side cut. It was bizarre, and I was like, I'm down with this. It's cool.
Right. Well, as the Terror Twins get captured and collared, and of course you see Connor and McGann, because let's be honest, it's just Connor with blonde hair.
Yeah, it pretty much looks no different. And
so different.
And then we see McGann transform into the sister, and we realize that they're going to be going undercover as them. He said, "You're under arrest."
It's like, what's going on? Batman's like, it's simple. They're under arrest.
Oh man.
Title card comes, title card goes, and we see as McGann and Connor are sitting in the back going to
Bereft,
which is a very important place.
Yep, Gotham prison. That is not the asylum. They very much make sure they distinguish between the two. This is a very common reoccurring place that's not as well known as the Arkham Asylum. Most things just go straight to Arkham.
But it is just as important.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It is iconic, but every time people think Gotham, it's always the asylum,
like Gotham
not
villains.
Bereft.
Everyone goes to the asylum just because I guess Batman technically deals with crazy people more than just assholes.
Yeah, just people. But as that's happening, Batman they get a flashback to the mission where Batman points out, "Are you ready for this?
Whoa.
On July 4th, 4 ice villains made a simultaneous attack." Does that sound familiar to you viewers?
I hope so.
Because that was the first episode.
The opening scene of the first episode.
I don't know if we actually mentioned it, but yeah, this is where it comes full circle.
I remember during the episode, I was just like, why the hell? Like, what a weird coincidence. It's all these crazy ice villains.
But apparently, it was to Batman, it was too convenient that all of us were for Mr. Freeze and... Actually,
Cold,
I was going to say...
Killer Frost, Icicle Jr.
Well, I was about to keep going forward, but mentioning who they are...
Oh, yeah.
Which, honestly, I knew Captain Cold. I knew Killer Frost. Obviously, Mr. Freeze. I had no idea
Icicle Jr. and Icicle Sr. I looked them up whose villains they were. I already forgot. It's Icicle Sr.
Icicle Sr., I looked up, actually, what he is. He's literally in Justice League comics. And... 2 different people worked on him. He has 2 different types.
Yeah, we'll get to him when we get to him.
Anyway.
Icicle Jr. I'd never heard of before.
I've never heard of him.
But actually, I was going to say, speaking of all the CW shows I'll never stop bringing up, even though I don't like most of them, the Flash TV show, I believe Killer Frost is one of the prominent main characters in it, but I believe that her father might be Icicle Sr. I'm not sure, but like they allude to the fact that her father might be Icicle Sr., I believe.
Interesting.
Yeah, very weird.
But yeah, where Killer Frost and Captain Cold immediately went to Bereft, that Mr. Freeze was going to go to the asylum, and Icicle Jr. is a minor, so he was going to go to a juvenile home. But for some reason, they somehow managed to squeak it in where they can go into Bereft.
Freeze did not claim insanity as usual, and then Icicle Jr. decided to be tried as an adult.
Yeah, to be tried as an adult. So that's how they're all in Bereft. Main mission here is Connor and McGann just have to find out what's going on.
Yep, go undercover.
Like, why is this?
While in the transport vehicle, Icicle Jr. is already super hard hitting on Tuppence.
And not even, one direct, like, kissy face. But then he just instantly, right in front of Tuppence, is, dude, bro, sister's too.
And also they are told that no one inside the prison knows that they are undercover. So it's a classic one of those episodes.
Oh, yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
But then when we actually get into Bereft, we get one of 2 major name drops.
Oh yeah,
because of the warden.
Yep, one of my all-time faves, Amanda Waller.
The
Wall, always a fun sight to see.
Oh, every time. I've known her since. I know didn't she make an appearance in Batman Beyond? I think
Batman Beyond. I think she was in Justice League first.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, then it was because I know definitely Justice League and stuff.
Of course.
Oh my goodness, she is the craziest because she is just always hardcore.
She is really awesome.
But I mean, she does like give in sometimes.
Well, yeah, she's usually a villain, but she's usually the head of the Suicide Squad program, so she's typically usually an antagonist. And she's always against superheroes, technically. So
she hates, like, of all the people who can't do superpowers, she would actually be the one to be afraid of because she actually can do things.
She is badass, and everyone's afraid of her, and she doesn't give a shit. But I was gonna say, before you say the other thing,
I'm not gonna say the other thing.
I was gonna say we see Amanda Waller. She does her classic badass shtick. There is no escape from this place. There is no way out of this place. There is no way you're going to get out. Now let me introduce you to who's in charge. This known Batman villain, Hugo Strange.
Yep. Actually, that's what I was going to say. The other big name drop is actually veteran Batman villain and who originally worked for Arkham Asylum.
Yep.
Professor Hugo Strange, not to get confused with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I know.
He's a professor, not a doctor.
I think technically he's still a doctor.
Well, I know, but still,
Dr. Hugo Strange, I believe it's...
And of all the things, because everyone who knows Batman or DC very well knows that this guy's a villain. Like, once you hear the name Hugo Strange, you just know. And what's his diabolical plan? He is the psychiatrist of Bereft.
Yep, and if you know that's as sinister as possible.
Hey, I mean,
the voice actor I know from a couple of things. He was the I didn't write the name down for some reason, but he was the did you see Heroes?
It's been a while, but yeah,
he was the brother who could fly, the Patelli brother who could fly.
Oh, okay.
Also, he is the main villain. He's an actor in a ton of stuff. He's also what the hell? The dude, secondary Hulk villain in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Secondary Hulk villain?
Yeah, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
You talking about Abomination?
No, he's not. No.
Not Abomination.
He's Thunderbolt Ross's second in command. He's like second army guy.
Yeah, okay.
He's the second in command army guy in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And he's a prominent character throughout most of that series. Okay. But yeah, that actor, you've seen him in a ton of stuff. Also, he's great.
But see, actually, this next part, where you find out that McGann is roomed with Killer Frost and Connor is roomed with Icicle Jr., that's when I learned Icicle Jr. is actually Yuri Lowenthal.
Oh, classic.
Yeah, see, you know who it is, but to those who don't...
One of the biggest fucking voice actors in the world.
Right, yeah. But
right there with
just to name a few of the things, Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2018, Marth from Smash Brothers and any of the Fire Emblems, and I found out, if you're into English dubs, he was Sasuke in Naruto.
Sasuke for the entire series.
Yeah, for everything, even in Boruto, apparently.
Yeah, he's great.
That one was a surprise because I did watch some of the English dub.
Yeah, back in the day, like 20 years ago when Naruto first came out.
Right.
I went to all kinds of cons and stuff and saw that, so yeah, I was down with him.
So now, with all this out of the way, Connor and McGann go to their first day in Bereft, where everyone's just out doing recreation, whatever.
Also, we find out that McGann still has her psychic powers because the collar only dampens her strength.
Yes, it only dampens super strength, just nothing else. And so everyone's like, some of them are still strong. Don't get me wrong, because they're built that way.
Colors theirs are programmed just to nullify their strength.
Well, right, yeah.
They're nullifying everyone else's powers specifically.
Right.
But they only know about her strength.
We get a cameo appearance from Edward Nygma.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to get in with the big dogs.
Yep, I was going to say, we see Brick, we see Blockbuster, we see Mammoth. Later we'll see Dr. Ojo, that asshole with the weird hat.
Mr. Cyclops weirdo. Yeah. He's kind of important.
Yeah, vaguely in this episode.
But they're all, like, those ones that you had listed are guarding, as we mentioned earlier, Icicle Senior.
Now, I wrote down this note because it was just so bizarre. Why the fuck sorry for cussing, I was not really usually cussing, I usually cuss all the time, is Icicle Senior in charge when he is the most D tier of any of the ice villains named already?
Yeah, I mean, it could have easily been, Mr. Freeze. Sorry,
Mr. Freeze is probably the most famous, followed by Captain Cold, followed by Killer Frost.
But Mr. Freeze is also not just all ice and stuff. He's also really freaking tough.
Yeah. He's also really big and also has probably... besides, Captain Cold has the hardest villain. He's the Flash's villain. So he's, like, already ahead of everybody else in terms of how good he is.
Right.
Like, if you've seen some of the comic time, but, like... Yeah, whenever you, like, see the Flash villains, they all seem very weird and silly, like Captain Boomerang, Captain Cold. But then you remember that they all go up against the Flash, so whenever people step to them, they just utterly obliterate anybody who's not the Flash.
Right, yeah.
They will F anybody up.
They're not... I mean, they are silly, but they're not jokes.
The trickster.
Well, except for the trickster. He is a joke. But we all dude, Killer Frost
is
versus Icicle Senior. Yeah, she could easily.
In case you didn't know, Killer Frost is typically a Firestorm villain, a superhero who can literally do anything. A character who can literally change the molecules in your lungs to solid gold, or just blow you up with the power of the sun.
And she just chooses to do everything ice.
Yeah, no, like her main villain is fucking Firestorm, and she is just like dealing with these idiots, and I'm like, how is Senior?
Exactly.
I don't know Senior, but like you said, he's only maybe he's a big deal because he apparently is in the Justice League comics. So maybe he goes against the whole league. I guess he's a bad guy, but like I didn't recognize him, and those other people have huge pedigrees. So,
and speaking of one of the many names we listed, Connor gets into a fight with Oho and just punches him in the face. And
no, you forgot Oho's. Yeah. He's like, hey, wait, I know who this is.
And as he gets punched, which one was it? Brick.
Yeah,
was the guy who's like big?
The big guy with the red
skin, the big guy. There's three of them.
Yeah, of course.
But Brick was like, you just made a mistake, and was gonna give Oho a free shot, and that's when Oho's like, wait, I know this guy. And before he even says anything, McGann's just like, it's whatever his name is,
Tommy
the brother.
Tuppence or Terry Tuppence?
I think it's Tommy.
I think it's Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy Tuppence.
It's Tommy. And all of a sudden he's just like, it's Tommy.
And I'm like, thanks.
Yeah, and they're just like, yeah, you know what? He's dead. But as all this fighting is about to go down, Icicle Senior's like, yo, stop. I like his guts. I wish my son had this. Hey, son, speaking of which, get your ass over here.
I like his style.
Sorry for the swear.
I like his Vanilla Ice cosplay. But also, like, just a minor dumb note. I love that Blockbuster is like a dumb random bodyguard. That guy was a scientist.
Yeah, he was. He was a scientist who drank. He was the one in the first episode.
Yeah, he injected himself with muscle juice, I guess
with with the Blockbuster formula.
Yeah,
it's just like, ugh. But anyway, so as Icicle Jr. goes to his
and Icicle Senior, we haven't mentioned his voice actor James Remar. From you've seen Mortal Kombat Annihilation or Dexter?
Yes.
He's the second Mortal Kombat movie. He's rated. Also, he's Dexter's dad in Dexter, and he.
See, I have never watched Dexter. It's not my thing.
Samantha's boyfriend in Sex and the City. No, he's a huge actor in a ton of stuff. But like,
he was the Raiden that took over the first one.
Yeah. He's a super low raspy voice.
Man,
James Remar's in a ton of stuff. He's also Gambi in Black Lightning, CW show shout out, of course.
Okay.
He's been a ton of stuff. He's a huge actor, but yeah, he's great.
So after Icicle Jr. comes and joins his dad, Connor uses his super hearing and hears that there's gonna be a jailbreak going down.
That's the whole plan. It's gonna be a giant jailbreak.
That's at least a part of why all the ice people are there. But why? We'll find out.
Yeah, who could be behind that?
After commercial break, we get the inmates getting some new duds.
Yeah,
and we don't know what they do.
Yeah,
all we know is Icicle Jr.'s like, hey, you might want to put these on sooner than later.
Oh, yeah.
So,
what could that possibly be about?
And then we get this very interesting scene where Hugo Strange is talking to McGann and Connor as brother and sister.
A very, very bizarre scene.
It's like, don't get me wrong, I understand what's going on, I get it, but it's just like, but why?
It's very weird, but it's very funny because McGann uses this opportunity to try to get some of Connor's daddy issues out.
Oh yeah, and of course, as this is all happening, Hugo's just like, brilliant, I like this, and Superboy literally gets indirectly angry at Superman, but takes it out on McGann.
Yep, and brings up like, hey, no, the life can't be solved. There's a half-an-hour TV show version. Bump it up. What can that be referencing?
Meta.
Yeah.
And yeah, things just get weird. But then we get a mystery crate of things that we don't know what they are yet. And then we get a lunchroom scene where, once again, Nigma tries to get in with the big dogs, and it doesn't work.
Like,
because
fuck off, Nigma.
Yeah, pretty much.
Get out of here.
And then we find out that Connor is not the only one with daddy issues. Because Icicle Jr. does.
Yeah, I hate my dad. And he's like man, me too.
Honestly, this is why Terrors was a very weird title. It should have just been called, like, The Daddy Problem Issues? With Dad.
The Problem
Daddy
with Dad.
Issues.
But like Superboy gets some good solid dad advice about stuff like that, and he also gets some good solid lady advice. You want to girl, she's a psychopath that you are and love you anyway.
But now here I've noticed something about this. If Icicle Jr. wasn't a bad guy, he and Connor probably would have gotten along very well.
They're getting along very well now.
Yeah, they really are. So I'm just like, Icicle Jr., no. Be a good guy.
You could have been a good guy.
Connor needs friends.
Yeah, come on.
And
a fight breaks out?
Yep, fight breaks out where Mr. Freeze is just like, hey, yo, I Senior. Frick you, I'm going in.
Icicle Senior, no one knows who you are. I'm Mr. Freeze. I'm going to fight you.
Exactly. I'm Mr. Freeze. And then he gets escorted
we also missed an earlier scene where while they were getting their outfits, we also see that Icicle Senior, Captain Cold, and Freeze open a weird mysterious crate with
that's why I mentioned the mysterious crate where we didn't know what it was.
We see vaguely some weird tech stuff in it. We don't know what it is particularly. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Mr. Freeze gets sent to the office like a bad kid in school.
Yeah, he gets no, it's not just the office. It's Waller's office.
Yeah.
You don't want to ever get sent to Waller's office.
Oh, no.
However, as everything's going around, Superboy hears Icicle Senior, pull his son aside and say, "Hey, I can't get in contact with Frost." And risky move number one. Mm-hmm. He goes over as Tommy is like, "Hey, I can telepathically talk to my sister." And Icicle Senior's like, "Dude, I know your stats. Yeah. You don't have any of that." In which case, cunning move. Yep. You don't put everything on the table for everyone to see. And so Icicle Senior believes him, and he's like, "All right, let your sister know that it's going down tonight so that she can tell Frost."
Yep. And we finally get some more scenes with Killer Frost just chilling out in the room, not doing anything. This whole episode, pretty much. But we see Freeze go to the principal's office, Amanda Waller. You're just like, oh, I guess I'm in trouble. Oh no, he has his Freeze gun.
He's got his Freeze wristband.
Yeah, his
Freeze wristband.
I think all the Freeze people who use tech were using those wristbands.
Right,
yeah. Work, so yeah.
There was just like, ice you, ice everyone. He even, Waller gets ready to even use the collar, and risky move number 2, Mr. Freeze opens up his helmet, rips the collar off, and actually puts it back on. Like,
cool.
Okay, we're good.
Very cool scene.
And that's when Bereft goes under ice.
Oh yeah, like the whole place gets frozen. All the ice people start freezing up everything, and it's really, really cool.
And everyone who is wearing an orange outfit, you find out it's actually that they're not affected.
Yeah, it's
because it's like extra thermal wear stuff. And that's when we all find out that Megan blows her cover.
Yep, we see her on the other side with Killer Frost, a couple of people we don't know, and then Devastation is that large woman with the tattoos and the braids.
That's what her name is, Devastation?
Yeah, she is she's a Wonder Woman villain.
She's evil.
Yeah, right. Well. She was made as an attempt, I think by Cronus, to make a Wonder Woman clone. And she's a weird made.
Obviously
failed. Obviously. She was made from clay like Wonder Woman was in some mythology stuff. And her name's Devastation. She's just super strong, I guess. And she just starts. They start trying to break through the walls. And Megan, they're about to kill Killer Frost, living up to her namesake, is about to kill a guard.
Yeah, he's about to kill someone, and Megan stops using mind powers.
Yep.
So that's like Killer Frost is just like, oh, I see.
Oh, no.
Get it?
Honestly, our first Rise Pudding, I'm real proud of us because it took that long into the episode for that horrible thing to happen.
And as all of this is happening, not Killer Frost, Icicle Jr. and Connor go to breakthroughs to help the girls come on through.
Yep.
And that's when Connor has a brilliant idea. And he's just like, hey, I heard that the collars are back on the girls' side. We got to turn them back off. Disclaimer, they're not actually turned off.
And then we see, they're like, oh, he's like, yeah, that's a good idea, let's go.
So they go over and they beat up Hook and
Dr. Oho again.
And Oho, who, once again, Oho is just like,
wait, I know who he is.
I know you. And then Superboy just knocks him out, goes in, and turns the collars on.
Back on, yep.
And of course, Icicle Jr.'s like, dude, we stopped this from happening. Dad will finally love me.
Yep, and while they're back at the wall, doing the wall thing again, Mr. Freeze figures out what's going on and confronts them with, I think, Blockbuster and Mammoth, right?
Yes, and it was funny because as that's happening, he's just like, oh, yeah, so you guys turned on the collars, right? Icicle Jr.'s like, dude, no, we didn't. What's going on? And of course, another cunning move for Superboy.
Well,
dude,
yeah.
He's trying to stop your dad. Remember that fight in the lunchroom? And then they all just have an all-out brawl.
A big fight, which is funny because Icicle Jr. tries to go up against Mr. Freeze, and of course, Connor goes against Blockbuster and Mammoth, and they're like, switch partners, and they're like, yeah.
Switch? Yes.
And
they do, and then instantly gets taken care of.
Why? Come on, Icicle Jr., be a good guy. You guys are a great
exactly.
team.
that's another reason why I'm like, dude, Icicle Jr., stop being bad.
Yep.
And then
they finally break through the other side.
And they get to the girl side, and Killer Frost is like, hey, there's the brother. Yeah, just so you know, your sister's chilling out right now.
Yeah, we totally killed her or whatever.
And she's literally frozen solid, and this does not make him happy. He just beats the crap out of Devastation, and which in turn makes it so that Killer Frost gets pummeled easily.
Yeah, Killer Frost is ready to kill Devastation and him at the same time, but they get knocked out by her.
Yeah, and then literally Connor like meat shields Devastation, and then boom, done. And then of course there's a moment. Icicle Jr.'s like, dude, we needed them to. Realizes what's going on and is just like, no. Yep. Connor was about to do what he does best and break her free. Yeah. But
that's not a good idea, she'll die.
Exactly. She will actually shatter. And don't know what happens, but through the power of please don't die, the ice shatters just enough for him again to be freed.
Yep.
And finally, after 11 episodes of Are we? They finally kiss.
Yeah, we have our first couple in the show.
Which is extremely awkward for Icicle Jr. because at first you see brother and sister being all Kentucky up in here.
They're both Southern.
No offense to anyone who actually lives in Kentucky.
I don't know you had to specifically name a state. I was just going to say it's like weird hillbillies. They were both weird hillbillies.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, you forgot to mention that Tuppence and Tommy had weird Southern accents the whole time.
You did too. And great. Of course, Icicle Jr. is just like, okay, this is just weird. Notices Megan actually turning back into Megan, and he's just like, wait, she's not, and you're not.
Like, oh, I was tricked. And then did he just knock him out, or did he just cut him away?
No, that's just that's how that ended.
Mm-hmm.
And just to end this all up, to tie this nice little bow on this package, you see Hugo Strange and Icicle Sr. talking to each other. Yep. Hugo Strange is like, yeah, Amanda Waller's, not going to be here. I'm going to be up top, I hope you can forgive me for not doing much. And Icicle Sr.'s like, dude, you risked a lot putting our equipment in here.
Yeah.
You're good in my books. And then that's when Doctor Strange. Yeah, Doctor Strange, you know what, whatever. Hugo is like, yes, all will see the light soon.
What? You mean Hugo Strange is a villain?
Dun, dun, dun. Episode end.
Nice episode end, and of course, Hugo Strange did exactly what we expected him to.
Of course. He's just an evil. That's one thing I liked about him. He's not very well known in Batman, except for like if you actually dig a little deeper. Because in some medias he's not prominent.
Yeah.
But he's literally like the Lex Luthor of Gotham. He is a brilliant man. He goes by the book sometimes. And then, but on the side, he decides to be evil.
Stuff. But I was going to say, did you play any of the Arkham Asylum games?
I own Asylum and City. I've watched my buddy Chris play them.
Ah, okay.
And oh my goodness,
there's some really good Batman stuff in those.
It really is. But I like what they did with Hugo Strange and Asylum.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He was in the first one. He was the main villain in the first one. Besides Joker, I mean.
Well, yeah. He was the mastermind behind. And I know in the second one, it was him and Ra's al Ghul.
And Clayface in the second one?
Yeah, Yes, and Clayface. Because they did.
Spoilers.
Yeah,
wait, I thought Clayface was the third one.
No, the third one was.
Oh, no, that third one's Night, right?
Yeah, it's Night.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Clayface was the second one.
Yeah, so Clayface was the second one, but yeah, Clayface worked with Ra's al Ghul and Strange again.
Mm-hmm.
And then other things happened, but he's just a very unique villain in my opinion.
I loved him in the Batman TAS. He was great.
Oh my goodness, he was amazing.
Ah, so great.
But speaking of amazing, our final episode of this episode.
Final episode of this episode? I guess so.
Right? I mean,
guess that's the case.
Is episode 12 Homefront.
Homefront.
And we start off with probably one of the cooler heroes, Artemis.
She's all right.
For now, she's all right.
Yeah.
But we get to delve a little bit more in her past, where she wakes up to her alarm going off because it's going to be the first day of school at Gotham Academy, and we get a flashback to when Cheshire is...
Well, spoiler. So I was going to say, we see an Alice in Wonderland poster with Alice and the Cheshire Cat.
Come on.
And then we see a flashback of what's her height? 5'6" woman.
Yeah, we get shorter than 5'6". Random girl with a Cheshire Cat for a poster. Oh, come on, they already know. I know.
It's obvious.
And you know that she's running. Cheshire's running away.
Yep.
But Artemis is like, no, we gotta stay here. And she's like, do you want to stay with Dad?
Yeah, Dad's a bad guy. We don't
Dad's
know who
bad guy.
And also, their mom is in Arkham, or is she just in a regular prison?
She's just in prison.
Regular prison. Okay, they're in Gotham at that point though, so she could be in Bereft, I guess.
Well, right. All we know is that she's in jail. That's all that's said.
Yep, we see this mysterious, what happens if you get caught? Like, just disappear. Like, the Cheshire Cat.
Yeah,
who could this girl be?
Yeah, see, I didn't spoil anything.
Who could she be?
But then after that, we actually get Artemis going to Gotham.
Oh, yeah.
And, she gets met by...
Betty Kane, a.k.a. the first Batgirl, a.k.a. Batwoman's niece. And she is I think it was by Tara Strong, I believe.
Yeah, I
believe. Or no, I don't think it is. I'm not sure. I think it's somebody else.
Either way.
Similar to her.
But yeah, and she's like,
Oh, a.k.a. Flamebird. That's her other main role. Yeah, main role she does.
Right.
Yeah, we see her just kicking butt. Not really kicking butt, just being a really nice...
Kicking butt at being very nice.
Yeah, kicking butt at being
killing Artemis with kindness.
Yeah, and we see a weird little kid with dark hair and sunglasses just saying, it'll be funny. And it's a selfie with her and then disappears.
and he disappears, who
Betty Kane.
Yeah, was Betty the girl who was talking?
Yeah,
to
she was the blonde who was talking to.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the other one.
When
we focus on the boy.
Oh yeah, that redhead who's obviously Barbara Gordon.
Yeah, exactly.
The second Batgirl. Yeah.
Exactly. Barbara looks and is like, hey, Dick. Spoilers, it was Dick Grayson.
He's Dick Grayson. That's who the Robin is.
Which, by the way, totally obvious when you watch
obviously,
it.
yes, because it's not any of the other ones.
And he's like, what?
Personality-wise, he could not be any of the other ones possible.
What did you just do with that new person? He's like, hey, I was just being cool to the new person.
Yeah, and also Betty was like, don't ignore that weirdo.
Betty's just like, yeah, just ignore him. He's a first year. Just don't even, just ignore him.
Yep.
Which is funny because we get to see that Dick knows who Artemis is. Artemis doesn't know who Dick is.
Of course not.
Dun, dun, dun. And then, as we get that, we cut to McGann and Connor making out by the motorcycle.
Yep, we're gonna have to get that now all the time.
with Orby going. Yep. It's like, wow, someone's jealous. And then Wally appears, and they're just like, you know what? In their minds, they're just like, good boy, Orby, good boy. Thanks for warning us.
Yep. We see Aqualad telling Tornado about the spy, that there's a spy in their midst.
And of course, Red Tornado's like, yeah, you guys are going to have to figure this out because Batman wants you to do this on your own. I, however, have to leave because monitor duty at the Watch Tower. But wait, I thought you didn't have to because you're a den mother. Sorry, but Green Arrow's not going to be doing it tonight. Bye.
He has a hot date. Bye.
Yes, Red Tornado actually uses the phrase hot date. And then, of course, after all that happens, we see Artemis and Robin.
I guess after the school day.
After the school day, going back to Mount Justice. And all of a sudden, it's like, hey, you're in Gotham, Artemis?
Yeah,
what's this all
What a coincidence.
About?
He's just being very overt with him. He knows something she doesn't. Classic Robin.
So, Artemis is just like, just go in.
Yeah,
just go
they go into the portal, and they are immediately met by some sort of crazy, weird lava villain attacking the base.
Yes, they literally walk in, and then there's fire.
Yeah, weird, solid fire just all over the place. Like, what the hell? And then suddenly water starts attacking them as well. And you're like, what the heck? What's happening?
Yep, and after the title card, they're running away from fire and water, and they find out the comms are down.
Yep, and they continue to, like crawl through vents and break stuff and just like...
Well, including Artemis' sanity, because she starts getting a lot of panic attacks.
Oh, yeah, it's like, what are we going to do? We're the only one without powers. What are we supposed to do? And it's like, yeah, well, the only two people without powers got to work together.
And as they're running around, they're trying to find a secret tunnel. Through
wrong series. Yeah.
Secret tunnel through the library. Secret tunnel.
Yeah, thanks.
And as they're trying to find this, they hear Red Tornado saying, Artemis. Robin.
Yeah,
it's like, and Artemis is like, yay! And that's when we find out our first villain, who I had to look up. Mm-hmm. Red Torpedo.
Yeah, Red Torpedo is the male one.
Is the male one? Yes.
That's a weird choice for water. Oh, yes, torpedoes are the water.
Do you see the sign?
I'm dumb. Yeah, I'm about to say what?
I forget which zodiac sign it was on his chest, but I think it was. Yeah, because it's the one with the big M with the arrow pointing.
Mercury. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, it's Mercury. You're right.
Yeah.
That makes it even better now.
Yeah.
And then as they're running away from Red Torpedo, you see the female one.
Yep.
Red Inferno.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like I said, I literally had to look up their names because I had no idea what their names.
Hey man, same. I
they don't even unlike
they don't say them at the whole episode, right?
Yeah. Unlike all the other ones where they actually do mention names, in this one they don't have names. It's just Red Tornado's siblings.
Yeah, Red Tornado sibling 1 and Red Tornado sibling 2.
Yep. But so and even Artemis is like, wait, when did Red Tornado have siblings? And Robin's like, dude, I didn't even know about these.
Yeah, of course, nobody did. But also I'm thinking, like, what about Mr. Twister from the second episode?
Yeah, but he wasn't, like, the normal format.
Yeah, he was different from them.
He looked a lot different. But Red Tornado did mention that there were some similarities.
Yeah.
But these two are, like, literally almost carbon copies of Red Tornado.
Incredibly like him.
They even Red Torpedo even sounds like Red Tornado.
Oh yeah, same voice actor and everything.
Oh yeah, and speaking of which, as they're figuring out what's going on, they have 10 minutes until their friends die.
Yeah, we see a very bizarre physics-defying flame cage. I don't know how that works.
And we see more actually like can happen. Wally and Superboy actually melted in.
Yeah, melted into something.
And then with water rising.
Yep.
But Aqualad and Megan are like stuck in the
fire cage.
Yeah, the fire cage because that's a thing. Oh, and we get one of two Robin of the days here because the Robin quote of the day, because I counted 3 times in this episode, is ... or not.
No.
It's like, hey, we'll do this or not. Hey, we'll do this or not. And then to the point where even Artemis is like, will you stop saying that?
Yeah, it's the best.
But yeah, they try and they fail many times. And they actually get to see where the team is.
Yeah, they're in that main area where they were working on the bikes.
And of course, Artemis, like she went from panic attack to legitimately like she is having an
she's
anxiety
completely
attack.
out of it. And then we get Robin's word of the day. Trot, as opposed to distraught.
The opposite of distraught. Get trot or get killed.
Yeah, exactly. They come up with the very obvious plan. Oh, we'll just EMP them. They're robots. Obviously.
And they attempt to, but Robin's like, yeah, can't finish the circuit. We need to have something to finish the circuit. In which case he gets pummeled.
Yep, he gets caught, and it's more like right in the middle of more what's called duct crawling and grate kicking out and pulling off.
Mm-hmm.
Whole and episode.
Artemis gets away.
Yep.
And
she's ready to run away.
Oh, she is like we get. I don't know what's above an anxiety attack, but she's 110% done.
Yep, she's full on out of it almost.
And she falls down and she actually is in Wally's souvenir room, and she's just like. She's done. She picks up the mask of Cheshire and has another flashback.
Yeah, that's weird. Why would you have a flashback to her sister when she's picking up that Cheshire mask? I didn't get that. It didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know.
You know why? Because it's Wonder Woman.
Her
sister's Wonder Woman. She has another flashback where the mysterious sister who may or may not be Cheshire is like, hey, don't you know about this family? It's every girl for herself. You should get out too, but not with me because you'll slow me down. Bye. And finally, Artemis gets resolve from this for some reason, thinking about her sister running away.
Yeah, I'm not gonna abandon it because she was literally contemplating, I'm gonna run away and then somebody else will come and help them.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then she's like, you know what? No, this family's actually all for one and 1 minute till death.
Yeah, that was funny.
I love that tie-in.
Yep.
And so what she does is without telling Wally, spoiler, she never says anything to Wally about this. She takes her arrow back that Wally had as a souvenir from a previous episode.
Yep.
Goes in and claims surrender.
Yeah, and was like, "Oh."
Not after that. Just jumps, shoots her arrow into the weird EMP thing, completing the circuit.
Finally,
EMP, boof, both of them drop.
Knocked out. And all of the teleporters go down too, which is kind of a thing for a minute. But she rescues everybody, everything's good. Red Tornado shows up at the very last minute, like clockwork immediately.
Because he's a robot. And then Wally's like, dude, use that laser, free us. And she's like, EMP blast, idiot.
Yeah, you can't do it. They eventually, after Red Tornado's there, they tell him where the two robots are. He goes over to inspect them, and
the EMP wears off.
Yeah.
They point that out. Red Tornado does this weird little touchy thing where his hand goes really close, and they just like teeny tiny zap. Evil mode activate.
Yeah, he turns evil, knocks them all out again. And
knocks them all out using vacuum.
Of course, and then takes the two siblings and it disappears.
Yep, and it disappears. At the end, we see the actual Justice League like, hey, you guys all right?
What the heck happened?
What happened? And that's when they're like, yeah, Red Tornado and the other two, the Reds as they call them, because that's not symbolic or anything. He's like, the Reds, they left, all of them, including Tornado. And that's where the episode ends.
Yep, the episode just ends on that with everyone being like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, exactly. This is like,
very abrupt ending.
Yeah, it just, usually there's like a bit of a cliffhanger. No, this is like a plateau.
Yeah, just like, bam, it's over. And that's the last episode for this week.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Very interesting one, even though a lot of duct crawling and weirdness. I like the Betty King cameo just because I'm a huge fan of that character from the Batwoman comics.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you know what I noticed also? Only one episode had a souvenir.
Yeah.
The other 3 episodes.
Only one episode had a Robin. Oh, no, wait, 2 had a Robin line because of the memory thing. Yeah, the whelmed in the shot.
But, yeah, it was funny because this is weird for the format. Every episode needs to have a Robin word of the day and a souvenir. Nope, 3 episodes, no souvenir. 2 episodes, no Robin word of the day. Although, in the second episode we did today, the Robin word of the day did get taken over by Sportsmaster.
What, the Broken Arrow?
Yeah, Red Arrow, more like Broken Arrow.
That's not even a weird.
I can actually picture him just going like, and Cheshire just rolls her eyes and just walks away.
Just like he's not dealing with this idiot.
But still, but all in all, still, I mean, as the viewers may know, this is the series that I'm rewatching because I have watched at least the first 2 seasons. And I remember every episode I watch. I remember why I love this so much.
Yeah, it is so good. So much fun action and so much fun character stuff, and it's just great.
Oh, it's amazing. And some cameos I pick out, but obviously,
I gotta pick up my weird esoteric DC characters. I love it.
Oh yeah. But yes. Final spoiler warnings for me. I don't have any plugs.
Of course.
But what about you?
Matthew Lewis P on Twitter, Matthew Lewis Podcasts on YouTube and on Patreon. You can find those, I guess. They're probably not very easy to find. But that's going to be it for this episode.
Really? You're not going to tell them how to find them?
I just said YouTube and Patreon. And also, don't forget my other podcast, my story one, The Forgotten Minotaur King.
Seriously, you should give that a listen because I've actually listened to some of the episodes he sent me.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's actually it's like an audiobook.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to be it. We're signing off for the Action Toon Bros.
Keep it sleazy, all y'all.
Keep it sleazy. Quit stealing my catchphrase.